And you're right. Get to your strong hand, get an easy opportunity early, try to feel good out of the gates as Kawhi gets his first to go.
At 13 of his 45 in the first half, and in the locker room at halftime, he told his teammates, hey guys, that half's on me, as they trail by double digits. Paul George off the mark. That have evolved to perimeter shooters, stretch fours and stretch fives, and to balance those two things out in protecting the key as well. Bogdanovic left it short. Tasked with guarding Donovan Mitchell here. They're going to spread it out. No team in the NBA has run more ball screens. Mitchell didn't need one, misfiring on the long three.
With that hard thrust, that burst into their offense. That's a good look at it right there, Mark.
Got an easy transition bucket, and Paul George on the sheet with his first field goal. Couple of quick buckets for the NBA Sixth Man of the Year. Paul George off the mark, and O'Neal coming down court.
Boy, Denver down 2 games. Chris Paul's signature has been all over that team all year.
Does he look right to you now, Doris?
Oh my goodness! I'll tell you this, and I mean
and
that.
You see it in the other guys.
Yeah, I mean that as the highest compliment. There's an edge to that group.
Everybody walking around with a puffy chest with the Suns right now as Paul George knocks down the three-pointer. Oni trying to guard George. Kennard can shoot the three, and does. At the buzzer, counted.
This guy gave him over 17 points per game off the bench. He's instant offense. And the thing he's talked about...
Nobody shot more threes or made more threes during the regular season than the Jazz. And there's Niang on cue. That one a little bit strong, and Paul George back the other way. That one a little bit strong, and Paul George back the other way. Deep post up by Cousins, and an easy bucket to her.
Boy, Cousins' influence on...
Said that after game 1, he really liked Cousins' energy. And he's made an imprint on this game. Paul George, 57-point playoff game last year against the Denver Nuggets in that shootout against Jamal. Inside, Subats with a little jump hook.
Not on winning teams, and he feels like his style wasn't really respected or even talked about. But this year, even being in the conversation all year for Sixth Man, life isn't around forever. Refocusing on taking the challenge head on with an organization that accepts him for who he is, he called it a beautiful feeling.
As we approach the midway point of the second quarter, they double team him this time, and they force...
Wow.
They call foul on Paul George. Boy, O'Neal right up into Paul George. Great defense. George makes tough shots, though, Doris.
Yeah, that's nicely done.
I'm sure Donovan Mitchell is, too. There's Paul George. He's receiving derisive cheers from the fans here in Salt Lake City. Ingles.
Clippers have got to find a way on the defensive end, Mark. Going back to quarters 3 and 4 of game 1, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George combined 30-21. He outscored them combined with his 45 in game 1.
If he can't make it out, Hield pulls it back out to Mitchell. He's had all the answers for them. And draws the foul from Paul George. Steps through over to Leonard for 3. And Kawhi knocks that one home. One of the finalists for the NBA's Coach of the Year this year as well. Mitchell with a nice pocket pass, and Favors smoked the layup. Missed an easy one. Jackson has it going in the third quarter. Got it! And one! Reggie Jackson.
Up at the top of the floor, putting pressure on him early.
It's working. A 19-6 run for Los Angeles. Out of bounds. And Utah basketball. Between game 1 and to where he is now, certain his health has improved a lot. Talk about game 1 in that previous series.
And a big-time shot from Joe Ingles.
Ends a 9-0 run. Paul George lost his balance. Got it!
Wow.
Count it! PG!
Rudy back now, so we'll see how that goes. Donovan remains on the bench. George Niang, still on the floor.
Clippers play great defense. And the Jazz still got a three. George has it rim out. All George out top off the Batum screen. Gobert switches onto him. PG draws it and one. Count it.
A couple more of them, I might be barking at the crowd saying overrated my.
Cross court Niang out top. O'Neal. Back to Niang. Little floater short. There's about they're in 2-for-1 territory. George put his head down, a little bit out of control that time, though. Gobert was open temporarily on the roll.
So you can downsize against Gobert on the defensive end because he's not really a post-up threat. And they're doing a great job. Batum now checks him out on the defensive glass. If you're downsizing as you are with the Clippers, boy, everybody's got to box out and be disciplined.
Paul George goes around the world, and it goes out of bounds on the pass.
The ball is important, Mark. Good shots are important.
Mitchell for three. That rims out. Clippers looking to take better care of the basketball. George on the drive, and he gets it to go with the left hand.
Boy, Bogdanovich, that is two sequences of individually excellent defense.
Stayed right with him. Mitchell fouled by Paul George.
At the free throw line again.
George with 20 now in the ball game. Paul George said earlier this season that he had heard some chirping from some of his opponents. Angles off the screen by Gobert. They give it back to him. He rolls hard into the paint. Slams it home. Count it. Mitchell pulling his way to the basket. Got peeled clean by Morris. George for three. Short. Good denied defense by George, and now Mitchell gets it. He's been sublime tonight. Gets into the painted area. Gobert missed the tip. The Clippers still alive. With a little over a minute to go. George with in and out dribble. Puts it up. Whistle counted. PG on time. Bogdanovich over to Ingles. Ty Lue wants them to foul. Incredibly competitive, capable of that extra gear. We've seen it tonight. George with a late three.